Hello, I'm Robert Singleton. I'm a professor at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. I'm a freedom rider, and I, 50 years ago, went to Parchment Penitentiary and along with 328 other people to try to break down the proclivity they had for how white-only and colored-only signs and places of transportation in Mississippi.
And let me just ask this, with all the horrible things that the Mississippi government and law enforcement officials did to you and the freedom riders at that penitentiary, at Parchment Farm, have you ever gone back to Mississippi?
I've gone back only once, and this was at the 50th anniversary reunion. Actually, I went back for the 40th, but we didn't get to Parchment Penitentiary that time. I've gone back to Parchment Penitentiary at the 50th anniversary, and I went back to my old cell. I got a chance to see where I was locked up for 40 days and 40 nights.
And what do you think of Mississippi now? There was a transformation after 1964, I believe.
Mississippi now is now, as we expected would be, governed by a lot of people who live in Mississippi, who take care of their own affairs. Even at the 40th reunion, we didn't get a chance to go to as many places in the 40th, but we saw that many of the high officials were black people.
Yeah, I think that the highest, largest number of black elected officials in the country, or the per capita.
That's correct.
Yeah. You've noted in other speeches that there's still discrimination to fight against. Could you elaborate a little bit about that, just briefly?
Yeah. There's backlash after every forward move, and a lot of people don't recognize this. What happens is that people just learn to change the names of some of the things they've been doing already. They want to keep their old privileges, so they do it in a different fashion. And then you have to learn how to defeat the new fashion that they developed to maintain their privileges. And inevitably that happens too. It's just a pendulum swing, and we hope that the pendulum swing keeps going.
And talking about movements, the Occupy movement, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, the Occupy movement is not yet a movement. The Occupy movement is like the civil rights movement. It's at its beginning stages. And one day it will be a movement when they decide what they're going to do.
Okay. Most Americans of African descent are showing a preference for the word black over African American, according to an AP story the other day that shows that there's a little change and a shift in that. Any thoughts about that?
Yeah, well, it really doesn't matter. People identify with what they consider to be at any given stage of their life the most important attraction. African American was very important when we were looking at how Africa was working so hard to free itself. But now we realize that we're black people in this country, and we have no more shame of what used to be a denigration. We now consider ourselves that's to be applauded.
Okay. And what's the main message you want to impart today at Lynn Benton Community College?
Well, as I said before, the arc of history, as Dr. King said, is long, but it bends toward justice. But I want to amend that and say, only if we work at it.
Thank you very much.